Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.com. Chapter 1. Crippled young miss, pa. The sound of a whip cracking rang out in the woods. A beautiful young girl was dipping the whip in her hand in a bucket of salt water. She ruthlessly beat the girl in front of her. Third sister, it wasn't me, I really didn't steal it. After Yi Xianran saw the look of loathing on Yi Yushi's face, she cold-heartedly swung the whip in her hand. Lift her up for me. Yes, third young miss. Two maidservants listened to Yi Xianran orders. They had fierce faces as they walked towards Yi Yushi and lifted Yi Yushi up. Pa. Another whip strike ruthlessly fell onto Yi Yushi's shoulder. Third sister, I really didn't steal that purple spirit pill. After being whipped from the afternoon to the evening, Yi Yushi's voice was already hoarse. Sweat mixed with blood dripped down as her eyes revealed an innocent look. After Yi Xianran heard what Yi Yushi said, she spat onto the ground. Holding the bucket of water on the side, she poured it all onto Yi Yushi's body. After Yi Yushi's wounds was washed with the salt water, it was like having a million needles stabbing into her. Her whole body trembled violently. Yi Yushi's painful cries was like sweet music to Yi Xianran's ears. She said in a sarcastic voice, "You trash that can't condense spiritual energy, being chased out of the family 3 years ago. How could you possibly have the ability to enter the family's treasury? Of course I know the purple spirit pill wasn't stolen by you." Yi Yushi forced herself to lift her face soaked in sweat and blood. Then why are you? Why? Yi Xianran began to laugh. Because of your beloved 7th prince. Because the 7th prince wants to compete for the throne. How could he possibly have a waste princess like you who can't even condense spiritual energy? 2 more whip strikes ruthlessly fell down on Yi Yushi's body. The 7th prince wants you to die. As long as you die, the 7th prince will be able to cancel his engagement with you. He has already promised me that as long as I kill you, he would marry me and bring me into the palace. After finishing, Yi Xianran's face filled with pride. It was like this. Originally she had believed that in 2 years, once the 7th prince brought her into the palace, she would no longer have to deal with other people's looks. She would no longer have to live her life, which was worse than a dog's. She never would have thought that the person who wanted her dead the most would actually be her future husband. The only hope left in her heart had finally collapsed. Her body slightly trembled and her eyelids felt heavy as she closed her eyes with a look of reluctance. The 2 maidservants realized that Yi Yushi in their hands was no longer moving and they revealed a panicked expression. Third young miss. Young miss, she seems to be dead. Yi Xianran threw away the whip in her hands as she went forward to lift Yi Yushi's head. Pa. She heavily slapped Yi Yushi's face. Yi Xianran saw that Yi Yushi did not react. She clapped her hands and gave a cold smile. It seemed like she's dead. With a putong sound, the 2 maidservants threw Yi Yushi's body onto the ground. Yi Xianran stared at the maidservants standing not far away. What do you think? How do we deal with her body? Seeing Yi Yushi's body covered in whip marks, the envy in Yi Xianran's heart still wouldn't go away. How could a waste like her get such a good engagement? The 2 maidservants returned to Yi Xianran's side. Third miss, I think we should strip her naked and throw her onto the street. Then we should tell everyone that Yi Yushi is servicing men at night and ruin her reputation. Third miss, I've heard that the Mo family had rejected the 7th prince's invitation. How about we call someone to bring the young miss to the Mo family's residence and plant it? The 3 of them were currently discussing how to make Yi Yushi's death even more painful. A strange purple lightning flashed in the sky. It struck Yi Yushi in her dantian, slowly opening her eyes. Those originally reluctant eyes currently shined with a cold glow. It was as sharp as a sword. She was the legendary Sin, the Blood Enchantress. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.com, direct link in the description.